global leadership. So now today, representing the Prime Minister's party here, we have our spokesman and the national communication co-convener of the ruling party, Mr. Raman Malik, to share his ideas and the sharing of the experience of this workshop and the conference here. Please welcome Mr. Raman Malik.
Oh, namaskar. 21st century is of Asia and we know it all. Centuries have gone by where in the name of Renaissance and the industrial revolutions and the Great Depressions and everything, a lot of history has been talked about and spoken about utterly of the West and not of the East. East is where the sun rises and the knowledge is also represented by sun. This conference has reaffirmed my belief that Sanatan is constant and Dharma is the only key for peace. The value of sacrifice is known but is not practiced. It's forgotten. We forget when we are born, a mother would sleep in the wet but would always keep the child in the dry place so that the child is comforted. That is the first sacrifice. The sacrifice is also there when she feeds you. Even if she's hungry, she feeds the child. That is also the sacrifice. Sacrifice is where love begins. And sacrifice, if not practiced, is where love ends. Forgiveness is a principle for peace. Forgiving yourself is the most important thing because we only know, one own self knows where we went wrong, what wrongs we have done in life. And if we don't forget ourselves, if we don't forgive ourselves, we generally don't forgive anything around us and we destroy everything. Parenting is also one important factor. A parent, if does not impart the education of sacrifice, of forgiveness, is doing the biggest sin. Because that is the place where a human being in the first 5 years is developing his mind, his ideology, his systems, his acceptance, his denial. And if the parent, as a parent, if we don't do that, that is where we fail towards the society at large. I would like to take a little more time and put forward to you what has changed. India has changed a little, and the direction in which we stood a few years back has totally changed. From the state where I come, there was a very huge problem. The huge problem was that the sex ratio between boys and girls was fast going down. We had reached to a place where there were 800 girls to every 1,000 boys. And what was happening? Girls were being killed in the womb before they were born. And that was looked up by the think tank of the party, our Prime Minister. And we launched something which is known as Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao, to save the girl child and educate the girl child. Because the girl child is not of one family, she takes care of two families and she takes care of the next generation to come. So, this remarkable idea of educating people about this fact is also important for world peace because the mother or the sister is the embodiment of love and affection. And she can bring calm and peace to the family. And if she's not there, there would not be a balance. So, today when I stand here, it would not, I would like to inform you that from 800, within a scope of 13 months, we have reached to 900 as a ratio. And what we did was we just educated people, one, and second, we were very clear, professionals, doctors are not allowed to determine sex and they wouldn't be punished if they do that. So that is one part of it. In the last 60 years, we are a huge country with a big population. In 70s, it was told that the banks were nationalized, mainly financial inclusion was not there. Disparity in financial wealth placement was there. When we came in, we made two announcements. One was a Jan Dhan Yojana, which means financial opening of bank accounts, which effected into in 12 months period, we have 20 crore bank accounts opened up, which was zero balance accounts, and these 20 crore bank accounts were not supposed to have any funds in them. But the surprise that there was 35,000 crore rupees deposited into it by people who were not included in the financial system of the nation. We were able to do this only because we were able to maintain a peace in the nation, stating that disparity would not be allowed. We started another scheme which was Mudra, a Mudra bank. Mudra means money. And what we did with it was, we created employment, opportunity for the person who wants 20,000, 30,000 rupees to open up a small roadside cart for a food stall or a buckler shop or something like that. And we gave that to him, believing that he would do a justice to himself, his family, and he would probably give some employment to somebody else. But what is the effect of all of this? If we give money for some work, we are not giving money, we are giving a hope. Hope for parity, hope for equality. And that is also an important point to generate peace. Peace is something which cannot be bought without effort. We also started something which is known as Swachh Bharat. Again, cleanliness is also giving you good health, in turn peace. We always preach, and our history has always said, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family. And we have been practicing it. One cannot forget when there was a huge unrest in Yemen. India was there. We rescued over 4,500 people from 32 nationalities. We were not there for this, our people. We were there for everybody because everybody was our family. So we practice the challenges of 21st century. The challenges of 21st century are many. There are two important factors which are challenges. The right ages place for Asia, which has not yet come in the Security Council, and the United Nations. The United Nations must realize Asia is the biggest landmass with maximum number of people, and it's the future. Also, Asia as such has the spiritual power. And the United Nations is a governing body of nations and de facto a nation in itself. And a nation without spirituality council would not be able to do justice. So, from this forum, I must say that making a voice that there should be like a security council, there should be a religious council in the United Nations to promote peace is also a very big thing that this organization must work towards, and I believe it was working. Challenges imminent in front of us is also terrorism. Terrorism is something which has taken the entire world and affected for the last 25-30 years in a bad manner. And terrorism, unfortunately, is still not defined in the UN Charter that what is terrorism. There cannot be a good terrorist or a bad terrorist. A terrorist is somebody who does terror, and terror is not peace. So, definition of terrorism is must. It is painful to see that in all the events in the last probably 10 years, which have 15 years, which have turned out to be the worst in human history after the Great Wars, unfortunately, one religion is taking the blunt because of few bad people in it. Unfortunately, everywhere, wherever there's a terror attack, there's a green color attached to it. And it's not fault of people following that religion, but the fault is of the people who are managing that religion today and whose business is on that religion. The religion is not bad. The religion always talks about peace. Any religion cannot talk about terror. Religion can only talk about peace, harmony, brotherhood. So that must be looked into. And again, we must work towards that also. As any organization which wants peace should also work about eliminating this grave danger to the society. We have done some work also towards peace, as you all have been doing. What we have done in our state is we are creating a curriculum to introduce two factors. One is the social bonding and mannerism into schools from the younger age, and the second is adding the teaching of Bhagavad Gita from the childhood. I personally believe that Bhagavad Gita is the GPS to life. It gives you an entire scope of how a man or a human being should conduct itself. So we are doing that also. The purpose to tell you all of this is that we in the country do synchronize with your motives and goals of the organization. And we have already started planning a lot of things to do towards this. Where we talk about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. In practice, we have also offered our technical know-how to all SAR countries. We have launched a navigation satellite, we have offered that. Now, Dr. Khera was talking a lot about a particular subject, and that was the man and the woman relationship. I would just like to add a small little thing which I believe. You know, the only biggest difference between any male and a female, I would not go into a man and a woman, I would say a male and a female gender. And that is the blessing of God. And that is one chance, or that is one moment when God has given us the ability to be visible. And that is whenever we get into this intimacy for creation of a new life. That is the time when we are God. Otherwise, we are just another creation of Him. So I fully endorse all what you have said, but then this point I strongly believe in. I also believe in an important thing which I learned over some time when I was doing some courses with a Reiki master. And that is, the most important thing is you should understand and learn to thank yourself, to thank the universe, to thank your surroundings. Because gratitude also gives you peace. You know, I was told by my mother, there was a very old shloka that said, when it's a discourse between a child and a mother before he is born or she is born, says, Janani janayo to bhagyavan, mat janayo gunvan, kyunki bhagyavan ke dwar pe khada rahe gunvan. That means that there could be a person who has immense knowledge, but if you don't believe in destiny and that destiny does not stay with you, even the knowledgeable person would stand in front of a person who has a good destiny and who does not have knowledge. So believe in Bhagya. Why I am saying this is because believing in Bhagya is believing in Almighty. Because you yourself cannot do everything. He's there. He's written your destiny already. Apparently, I'll just share a small one-line joke that happened in Indian political system, and somebody who happens to be having big brains goes on to say that poverty is just a state of mind. So, poverty, financial inequality. If the word believes keeps believing in practicing inequality, you will never get peace. Peace also says to give. And when you give, you create balances. To end it all, I would just recite a small prayer which I have been taught by my mother all over when I was a child. It goes, Om Astoma Sadgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. It means, lead me in real, in truth. Astoma, from the unreal, take me to the real. From darkness and ignorance, darkness of ignorance, you take me towards enlightenment of truth and wisdom. From fear of death to immortality of truth and happiness. I believe that we all have gained immensely from this convocation, and this organization can actually help in clearing a lot of ills of every society. It is for the society to understand what help it would require from UPF, and we should be very upfront to ask for help. Because I don't feel this organization is doing anything for selfish motive. It is for sacrificing motive. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Malik.